Hey guys, and welcome back to Smart Money Minds. Today's video, I'm going to give a quick update on some of the things I'm seeing in the Chinese tech stock market. And let's take a quick look here is that we get titles, we get articles like this saying that Chinese stock rout is not just about technical crackdown, but there's also very good chance of sharp contraction. We got more sell-off from Tencent, so it's not a positive spin on things right now, especially with these tech stocks. But what's funny is that articles are not always a true representation of what I see on the technical aspect on the stock. In my opinion, articles are usually a lot of fluff because the media wants to tell you what they believe is the true story. But when I'm looking at the chart, I'm seeing a very different story. And this could be a quick revival, if not a technical bounce for some of these stocks. And this technical bounce could be 10, 20, 30% before it sees another sharp drop. I'm not an investor in some of these companies. I just want to catch that quick bounce maybe in the next couple of weeks, because that's what I'm seeing here in the market compared to, say, the US market, which is taking quite a beating in the red. So the reason I say this is, let's take a look at BABA here. BABA is a stock that I played last week and the week before as well. And the reason why I was playing this is, let's take a look here, is we had a sharp drop all the way down. Now this is the weekly chart. We had a weekly downtrend, breaking supports, coming back down, but let's check it out. Now we're actually getting a weekly trend change in this range. We're getting some bullish volume coming up. We had the sell-off. Now we can't break down any lower, and see this bull action is starting to come back up. Now compared to this here, we had, I would say this is more of a dead cat bounce where it came down. We got a sharp push. We got 2 weeks of bullish action and then immediately sold off as it came up to the MBB here, the middle Bollinger Band here. This didn't really change the trend. What it should have done is come back down here, came over here, and then pushed up, but that failed. But here is another opportunity for it to happen. And why I think is good is because look at these. There's a bunch of dojis here that formed. So in the last 2 weeks here, we had down, down, down. This downtrend line on the daily has been prevalent. However, what I saw here was we got a push right above the downtrending line here, and we settled in this range here. This gave me a bull flag, which is a classic bullish pattern. And check this out, where it broke over this resistance zone over here, which was from the weekly trend. We had from here 129, 130, and this is just about in that zone right over here. Taking a look at the Fibonacci here, we're not even at the 0.382 yet. So we had a breakout. We got a bit of a doji here due to some weakness, but we're not at the 0.382, and I'm anticipating it to at least get up to this range, is 136, so that's another $7 gain. And I'm seeing that there is a decent gap in this range here as well, so we could very well push up, settle down a little bit, and then have a secondary push for a good technical bounce, and that could be a very good percentage gain. Even if we are looking right over here, this could be a 10-12% gain. Before I move on here, the reason I am focusing back on Chinese tech is because of the percentage gain on the last day here. We're getting some decent push. We're getting some bull flags forming, as we showed you on BABA. And now I'm going to show you on BIDU as well. A similar scenario. However, I do see that BIDU is not as strong because we do have a resistance range right around here, the 152 152 to 154 range, but it did break over. But we got an upper wick, so it's not as confident. But I'm just looking at this as we are getting the bull volume, we're getting a big push up. Last time we got that, we got up here, we got into the resistance zone, and we rejected. But now we're actually setting a higher low, and we're breaking over for a higher high. So I'm liking this possible trend change here back to the uptrend. And now even on a longer time frame, it's settling down in this range, 135, 132, hasn't been able to break down any lower, and my target would be somewhere around this range, maybe 170, because that would be the next target here, which is right in this zone over here. So let's say we get a big push up to around 170, 171. That's another 10% move if we get clear of I'd say this zone here, 153. That would be the major resistance zone. And I personally would probably set my stop around 147, 146 zone, right around where these guys were, where this guy is, so right over this zone here. So now you're not risking too much here. Let's say you get an entry right over here. Maybe you're risking 2 or 3% for a 10+% move. Now another stock here I'm watching is VIPs. So pretty much back from April of 2021, we've had a steady downtrend all the way down, and it hasn't really given any sort of trend change anywhere along the way. This couldn't break 30 or 1332, and look at it just fade. But what we're seeing here is we're actually seeing a bull break over 864. And now we're seeing some increasing bull volume in this ranges here. So there is a potential that this could start going. We're getting up to the weekly 8 EMA, which is the blue line here. So there is resistance, but I'm seeing that there's a potential trend change here on the longer time frame for maybe a weekly lower high. Because check this out, this is all the way down to almost back in this range here. So the thing about Chinese tech stocks is there's still a lot of uncertainty, so it could very well just kind of trade sideways right over here with not too much moves, but tiny little moves, because the stock is so inexpensive now, could still be a 7% move or something like this, right? Now Futu here is trading back here almost at the lows around the $35-40 range here. Now what I'm interested in Futu is that it is tightening up. You see here that this is a tightening pattern. We got some increasing bulls here. What I really want to see is a big strong bullish day right over here where it pushes over this upper trend line. That's where I'm gonna be confident that this is gonna be a breakout move, at least temporarily, for a possibly weekly lower high above this 8 EMA. Breaking this 8 EMA is gonna be very significant. This yellow or this blue line all the way down here, because as you see here, the 8 EMA during this time has been support the whole way through, and it's kept its uptrend, and now it's on its downtrend. So we want to see that breakthrough. Last but not least, I'm staring here at JD, and JD is not as strong as I like it to be, because it is kind of dilly-dallying here, but it hasn't given back as much as most of the Chinese tech stocks. Most of the Chinese tech stocks have been like a big drop down, maybe back to like the $30 range. That would be a Chinese tech stock. But this has been kind of hovering here. It gave a decent uptrend on the weekly here. Now it's coming back down to the support zone around $61 right over here. So this is a low risk, high reward play, because what I'm looking at is, let's say we do a $61 stop in this zone right over here, because that is a support zone. But if we get a double bottom, which we did here, now it's pushing back up over here. Now check out the weekly volume. The weekly bull volume is actually slowly increasing here, and I like the lower wick because that means that bulls are buying and holding the support zone, and that's where I would buy because it's giving me a decent support zone, and it's also showing me indication that bulls are buying a dip and that we could at least settle for maybe a lower high and a higher low and then push back up, something like that. Now, a lot of people say, hey, why even bother with Chinese tech stocks, because, they're so weak and they haven't really given me any good moves lately and I've been losing money on it the whole time. Yes, it is a downtrend, and I'm not saying that this is without risk, but if I see something that is showing signs of bottoming, showing signs that a trend is changing, and it's giving me a very good risk to reward play, why wouldn't I take that opportunity? If I can risk maybe 2 or 3% for a 10-20% gain, that is a significant move, and that's the only way really to be successful in stock trading, is to take these great risk to reward plays. Yes, it could downtrend, yes, it could sell off, but there is the risk of doing so. However, if you see a good, steady, possible trend change, possible bottoming, then why not take the chance? Just make sure you define your losses and know where you're going to get out and take that maximum loss. Because let's say you actually hit one of these and make a 10-20% gain, that's going to cover all the 1 or 2% losses that you took throughout your entire time trying to trade these kind of stocks. Now, in the comments below, let me know what you think of Chinese tech stocks in the new year in 2022. I'm interested if you're still holding anything right now. Comment in the section below, and make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and then we'll see you guys next time in the next video.